In the top right of this map. If he loses one more, he's in Code B. He is
Leenock.
Leenock is the nickname I gave him because at one point his creep spread was some of the best. These days, he's a little bit lighter on it. It's up against this player, the Terran Terrorist, the bottom left in blue.
Fantasy.
I'm trying to remember a time where Leenock's creep spread was good compared to other players. This is like back before people used creep tubers. Like, he's like definitely, for his level, he's the worst in the world at creep spread.
I would say right now he definitely is.
For like the level of player that he is, I cannot think of another player that now that Jelizerg has retired that spreads less creep than Leenock. I challenge anyone to come up with someone of this level that does that.
I'm trying to think of it. I just can't.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know, maybe like a Terran player, he spreads a lot less creep. Like Fantasy, he doesn't spread a lot of creep.
I mean, I think Fantasy spreads more creep than Leenock, pretty much.
Wow, is he actually just going to kill that?
If you count any tumor that he could have possibly killed that he doesn't kill every game as a tumor that he spread, then for sure every Terran player still spreads more creep than Leenock.
I don't know, man. I think like I think Leenock's going to win this series.
You think so?
Yeah, Fantasy's just like not playing very well compared.
Yeah,
to,
I mean, losing the SCV is pretty unforgivable, right?
That's like, I mean, I look at that, and I'm like, you did what? And some of the things that, I'm like, did that really just die? Can we pause the game and start over? Like, is his keyboard working?
Yeah, the thing is, it's pretty frustrating as well for the player.
And then,
because like, does that ever happen in practice? No, not really.
With the amazing position he was in Game 1, with all the mistakes he made, I think he's just like might be a bit off right now. His confidence and his like, mentality.
The game
might
got
be
way closer than it should have. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think that's something to consider. Leenock's like just blocking the command center location here.
Oh, this is so funny.
And if he leaves with the Reaper, he can keep blocking it.
Yeah. The Overlord, of course, sees it leave, so he's not even taking a risk here. Right back up into that.
He's like going to kill a second SCV.
He's like, yeah, I mean, I lost a lot of mining time, right? So I should get 2. The LZ gamer approach. Enter the Terran base expecting to kill 2 SCVs. Alright, well, this Reaper going to go up and scout a little bit. Fling's already popping out and gas already being mined. He has to know that his Reaper's not likely to do too much, and he is actually going up to 3. What do you think about the 3 count?
Well, it definitely is going to force some extra lings. And if he's if Leenock makes any micro mistakes, he might get some kills with this. If he kills a queen, that's obviously ideal, but I don't think he'll be able to get that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
You know, one thing that ICV's off the line here, by the way.
You know, one thing I really like about 3 Reaper is how much that can really help out when you get your Hellions. Because, you know, you want the Reapers to take a good chunk of the damage because they heal up as you run around.
Yeah.
So having the 3rd Reaper definitely can help out quite a bit when he's harassing him later on against the Queens and whatnot. You know, when the Queens are trying to spread the creep.
Does a big, quick, rapid-fire DPS compared to the Hellions DPS, which is in a line.
Yeah.
But on single targets, having those Reapers in the mix is pretty nice.
Yeah, it certainly is. Look at this. Actually gets a drone there. Very nice. Doesn't want to lose this Reaper, though. Oh, man. Came very close. He needs to keep that back.
The Queen has taken a lot of hits. The other Queen pops out, though. He's going to have to get out of here.
And keeps them all alive. You can see some really great micro coming out of Fantasy here. Leenock still minimizing damage quite a bit, but you know what? He's bruising stuff up, and that could... Oh!
Double fact Hellions.
Ooh. Maybe even mech?
Well, later. Calm down, Artosis. I know you get excited about
Give me
things.
mech or riot.
Mech or riot?
Mech or riot.
Mech or riot. I'm just like trying. I was like trying to think of something to go with that, but I never imagined like any sort of emoticons I could put next to that if it were in my head.
Say Kappa a lot. That's what Tasis would do.
Did I get a sorority or Greek letter or something?
Ooh.
Well, he's actually getting by here. Going to get an SCV, those 5 minerals, never going to see the light of day.
A lot of bad things happening to Fantasy here.
Better not let that in.
No. If he let that in, do you know how bad that would be if he let that in and it saw the other factory? It's like, oh, Fantasy, just leave this game. Try game 3, man. Like, No point anymore.
Well,
All right, this is a lot of Lings on the way, and a Baneling Nest, so...
Well, I mean, I think, you know, he obviously doesn't know what's coming his way. A ton of Lings only is not actually going to be enough.
Yeah, and especially since a bunch of them are down here, it looks like, oh, well, still not fully walling in here.
Wow.
Oh, that could be pretty painful. Looks like he is going to start picking off some SCVs, but those Hellions are going to help.
Yeah, he kills a queen over there, meanwhile.
Nicely
That's going to help him with the attack later.
But look at this. 9 workers killed by Leenock. You know, normally you'd want that to be the other way around as the Terran player, but Fantasy just refuses to wall that in all the way. Finally does make that final depot, but if more Lings run around, he has a Baneling Nest now, so he could actually bust through the depots and do it again and catch him off guard. The one thing Leenock doesn't know is that there's another factory, so there's actually more Hellions at home in case of counter than you would think.
Well, a ton of Hellions about to be on the map with Blue Flame, and there are a lot of Lings, so he has to micro very, very well. And I don't think Fantasy knows exactly how many Lings are on the map either, so he doesn't want to get surrounded here. This could happen.
Blue Flame is about to finish. If he loses all these right before Blue Flame, like it looks like he's going to.
Yeah, definitely.
That is just the worst case scenario. Right there.
Just doesn't even keep all of his Lings here. He sends the other part of the Lings across the map. I think he's just going to go for a Baneling bust.
Oh my god, you're right. He has 38 drones. He's making 21 Banes. Oh my god, even more. 25 Banelings in the way.
He has no idea.
Hellions.
Yeah, he has no idea these are here.
Oh my god, look at this. And now he just needs to buy some time to get these Banelings to hatch.
Oh, these Hellions are trapped outside, but good micro here by Fantasy.
Yeah, very solid. All right, the Baneling's starting to deal damage, but these Hellions can eventually kill them off.
Gonna take a lot of multitasking here.
He needs to spread a bit better, losing a lot of SCVs at the moment. But the thing is, Leenock doesn't have a lot of drones because, well, he's been making nothing but Zerglings.
The Roach Warren he's making right now is really smart. Yeah. He's going to need that.
He has to get that. And the thing is, he has to make a bunch of Lings in the meantime. I think that third base, you might just want to consider dead. Like, I mean, I was going to say maybe leave it there so he attacks it, but like... Maybe, it's a hatchery. Maybe it's not going anywhere, right?
Maybe not blow up your own hatchery.
Yeah. Don't salvage it. Just let it be.
He's going to break through here after that transfuse is gone. He even just lets him walk in. That was a bit weird.
I think he wanted him to go to the left so he could do a little surround and flank it with the Queens and the Lings. He's trying to get anything done he can instead of just losing.
Well, 8 Roaches are about to pop out, and he's going to catch and surround these Hellions.
Oh boy. Roasting a lot of drones at the moment, bringing him down to 34. Finally getting his drone kills. He's lost 24 SCVs so far. But don't forget, I mean, all those Lings he killed was, you know, without them doing too much damage, is kind of like killing drones in a manner of speaking.
Leenock can just drone up super comfortably right now, though. There's no more army on the map for Fantasy. He lost all of his Hellions. He can't even deny creep spread. Again, playing against Leenock, that's not the priority target, but though he's got his bases connected. He's totally safe to go lair here. Starts one Carra base upgrade, likely to start the next one as soon as he gets a little bit more gas, which he is adding right now, going up to all 4 extractors at his primary 2 bases. I like that Fantasy's going into siege tanks here because he is going to need those. You know, he needs some form of AoE to go with his Marines because he doesn't have any Hellions to help buffer either. I like Leenock's position a lot. I don't think that Fantasy's going to be able to put pressure on for a long time.
Yeah, and that is really the problem, right? Leenock gets to basically recover fully. Fantasy has to start his macro going, and he needs to eventually get that third base secured. And the thing is, Leenock can switch back into units pretty easily. The siege tanks, though, as you said, they're a nice mix in here. They're really going to help him to defend and actually take that third, I would say. And I think that's really the important thing. As soon as Fantasy can actually defend and be on 3 base, he's going to be feeling a lot better about this game. If it takes too long, that's going to be it.
I'm trying to figure out, I mean, Fantasy's great at multitasking, great at dropping multiple locations, but these Roaches here are even going to be pretty helpful at defending these Marines. You know, like how much damage can he actually get done here? Tries to target the Queen down, and he's not even really paying attention to what he's doing here. Yeah. These Hellions are not going to they're not going to change the world.
No, they aren't.
They were just dreamers.
Well, they do go down, and that takes away any map presence that he was hoping to have. His army's so small at this point that this Zergling attack is actually going to be devastating. He's got 1 Siege Shank, 9 Marines in a medevac, and 6 of the Marines are in the medevac that are across the map. He's going to force the liftoff. He's going to kill the SCVs.
Things could not be worse.
As far as I'm concerned, he's going to go to Game 3.
Yeah. I mean, things couldn't be any worse for Fantasy at this point. His economy is in tatters. He's mining from 2 bases. His upgrades aren't even really ahead.
Yeah, this is, like, Fantasy will probably stay in the game a long time and try to do something, but, I mean, this is pretty tough, man. He's taken a lot of damage. The one thing that we can say is that Fantasy has still a decent amount of SCVs. I mean, that continues to be killed off. But even after all these SCV kills, right, he still has about 50.
Yeah,
so.
50. I mean, he never stopped.
Yeah.
And he never took, like, this huge loss all at once. It's just been kind of chipped away all throughout the game.
That is true.
So, I mean, with Mules, if he can resecure this 3rd base, he's going to be golden. But he doesn't have an army that he can use to pressure directly, which means the next 4th base goes up for free. He's going to drop all these Mules to get a ton of extra income. And I don't think this amount of Zerglings can really deny this. But he has...
Banelings sure can, though.
Yeah, Banelings certainly can change the game. The lack of upgrades for Fantasy is really his big problem. He doesn't have 2-2 to have this upgrade lead. In fact, he's behind in upgrades right now.
Oh,
Armory just finished. He could start 2-2, but he's, you know, his macro here is a bit off yet again.
Well, here we go. Banelings with speed, moving forward. Only 1 medevac here to heal up, trying to micro as much as he can. Oh, a lot of decent connections here, and that's really all Leenock needs is a couple decent connections.
Yep.
All those mules going down. Oh, the command center as well.
Down, that medevac. The army is dead.
It is GG timing here.
Yeah, well, that's what we should be saying. But as it is Fantasy, you never know. Never know how long he's going to keep us here.
Yeah. Ooh, good Widow Mines.
Yeah, but even those aren't going to be what gets him back.
I mean, there's still mutas.
If you could press a button and blow up Leenock's entire army, I'm still not sure Fantasy would be able to come back. Leenock would just remake it like...
He blew up his entire army right now.
Now. Like,
yeah, you're right. Leenock still wins.
I mean,
now, wait till all these eggs hatch and then re-ask yourself that.
Yeah, well, even before, when I said it, like, there were a few more units that came out, but...
No, I still think you were pretty accurate there, but... Anyways, here we go.
Well, a lot of Banelings die here.
Really
now he's got, like, a roach-heavy comp. So he's going to hold on a little bit longer.
This is why Fantasy does stay in games. You know, people give him a lot of guff about it, but look how cost-efficient he's being in these battles. Like, he's doing things that, you know, make it look like there is a chance to come back. Like, if he gets a bunch more engagements just like that, then maybe he fights right back into this. But as is, his 2-2 is going to be done for Leenock. He just continues to make a ton of units. He's on 4 base against 2. The main base of Fantasy is almost mined out, so this is almost like 1 base against 3, which is way worse than 2 base against 4.
Yeah.
Which both are just completely horrible and basically unwinnable, but just put that in context, how bad this really is.
Leenock's creeping the 3rd, which means that taking that base, which he doesn't have a new command center for, by the way, is it's going to take even longer if it ever happens, which it likely won't. Fantasy is supply blocked here again, and here we go. The Ling's streaming through. Good concave on the inside, but the Ling stream over that depot. Way too many mutas here as well in the air. No Widow Mines this time to help him out.
Yeah.
And he's just going to break through. And the Roach is even coming out here for some extra DPS at the back. GG. We're going to Game 3, Artos. It's going down to the wire.
Yeah, as it should be with these two. Really, either one of these guys could take the series.
I think Leenock's going to do it. Fantasy just made some critical mistakes throughout that game, and even in Game 1 when he was so far ahead, it was like Leenock's playing with one hand tied behind his back, and he still had a hard time spending his money. There were a lot of times in that game, too, where he just like did not spend his money properly. He had a super late armory for his upgrades that he could have afforded easily way before he added it. He's just, I think he's like stressed out or something.
No, well, remember when you asked me what the weaknesses of Fantasy are?
Yeah.
I said his money sometimes gets a little bit high.
Yeah. We're watching
there you have it. This is like the weakness of Fantasy. He's not someone that spends every mineral like Innovation or Flash or something. Or a Tasia, or, you know, just one of these macro beasts. He has a different skill set. And, you know, so far in StarCraft II, it isn't shining through as much as it did in StarCraft 1, but give him time. Frost, our last
Frost.
map. This is how we saw Flash go down in Game 3 against Shine. This is a map where Zergs definitely can macro nicely. You know, you can choose it because it's like a balanced, good map, but this should be close, I think. If this is just macro versus macro, it can be a really good game going either way.
I think he has to do it that way, but he's been struggling a little bit. I mean, he's already shown us a proxy. He's already shown us double Blue Flame Hellions.
Yeah.
What other strats is he going to pull out
This
here?
is fantasy. Like, he does weird and wonky stuff sometimes. He wants to micro. He wants to have weird sets of units.
This is the very last set of Code A. It's time for Leenock versus Vandy to decide the last Code S player this season.